Hi, welcome to Heal Body, Mind and Spirit. My name is Farhad, and today we're going to talk about herbs which can help reduce symptoms of hypertension or high blood pressure. The other day I made a video about blood pressure and natural ways of dealing with pressure. And this is the second part, or the part 2 of this series. So the first part, we're looking at alternatives to taking pharmaceutical medicines, because for a lot of people they'll be put on pharmaceutical medicines and left on them for life, and they often have a lot of side effects, and often you'll have to go from one to another. They'll work for a few months, then they'll have side effects and you have to change, and so on and so forth, and long term wise they're very bad for your body. We had a look at things like lifestyle and how people get blood pressure and different things you can do to change it. But in this video we're just going to take a brief look at some herbs which can help you as well. And herbs are very powerful. Now, just to clarify, first of all, I don't want to say that herbs are a cure-all, because as I said in the last video, if you're borderline hypertensive, there's a good chance that you can cure the hypertension or only have small bouts of hypertension sometimes. But if you're very severe high blood pressure patient, the chances are you're talking more about control than anything else, making it less symptoms, making it better, bringing down the pressure. So it depends on your severity. Sometimes you can cure it with herbs, sometimes you can't. Even if you can't cure it, it's better to use herbs instead of the blood pressure pills, or with the blood pressure pills. Like a very severe high blood pressure patient might find even with all the pills they're taking, they can't get it down properly. It's very problematic, in which case the herbs might get it back into the normal range. For a lot of people also, they can reduce the dosage of drugs they're taking, and for some people they can give up the drugs. For some people they'll give up the drugs and take the herbs instead, and some people can even stop taking the herbs. Okay, so a lot of variation, but I'm just throwing them out there. What herbs can you use? There's lots of herbs, but I'm just going to briefly go through a few. One slightly unusual one, and the other ones are very common herbs. I like to stick with common herbs because they're easy to find, and often the herbs in your kitchen are underrated. So the common herbs we're going to talk about are cinnamon, ginger, garlic and cardamom, and the one-off one we're going to talk about Rauvulfia, serpentine, otherwise known as snake root. So let's take a look at these ones first. So if we take, for example, cinnamon, and I'm going to quote the studies down below. In one study of cinnamon, they noticed a drop from diastolic blood pressure, an average on the participants, from 85.2 to 80.2. Now you have systolic and diastolic pressure. Systolic is the top, diastolic is the bottom. So the 120 over 80 is systolic 120, diastolic 80. So this is seeing people going from 85 down to 80. So if somebody was, say, hypertensive and they were 95, maybe they go down to 90. Okay, 90 is borderline. Ginger is another thing I'd recommend. There's not a lot of studies that say how good ginger is at dealing with high blood pressure, but in general it's a very good tonic. And for a lot of people who are like high blood pressure, have yang deficiency. We have yang energy, which is active, and yin energy, which is nurturing. So the ginger will help have a nurturing effect. The next thing we have on the list here is garlic. There was a study where they tried garlic at different levels, 300 milligrams a day up to 1500 milligrams a day, and they found that as they increased the dosage, they got a higher level. And at 1500 milligrams a day, they saw a 9.5% drop in high blood pressure, which is very significant. So say, for example, you're 140 over 100, you might see a drop down to something like 130 over 90-ish, which brings you back down to the borderline level. Or if you're borderline, you might see a drop, say, from 130 over 90 down to 120 over 80. I'm not guaranteeing that's going to happen, but some people get a really good effect if they take a lot of garlic. If you look at any of my videos on herbs, herbs do work, but you have to take a lot of herbs. You might get away with one pill a day, but herbs, you're going to be taking grams of herbs, like big lumps of this stuff. Okay. What else? Cardamom. In cardamom, they saw a drop. 3 grams a day of cardamom, they saw a drop of 8.7%. So if you think of the synergistic effect of, say, taking maybe 2 or 3 grams a day of cinnamon, ginger, garlic and cardamom, you could see maybe a 20% drop, which would be pretty significant. Now if you're very high blood pressure, you're 180 over 120 or something, you might just drop back to 150 over 105 or something like that. It might be very hard to cure it. But if you're 140 over 100, you might well go back to maybe 130 over 90ish or 130 over 85 or something like that. It's certainly worth a try. Can't absolutely guarantee it, everybody's different, but it works for a lot of people. The big thing with herbs, like I said, is you need to take a lot of herbs. Also, these herbs are very good for many other conditions. Ginger and garlic, I really think they cure just about every condition you can think of and have very good effect on things like cholesterol levels. And cinnamon is very good, probably the best herb for diabetes. Very profound effect for diabetics, for reducing blood sugar. Many diabetics have high blood pressure because they have problems with triglycerides and plaque buildup in the arteries and high blood pressure. So it's a win-win. Okay, so just think of those. Very simple. They're in your house, more than likely. Cinnamon, ginger, garlic, and cardamom. But you need to take a good amount a day. Like a very good way to take it, what I take it often, is very strong ginger, cardamom, cinnamon tea. You boil water. You take some chunks of ginger. You boil the ginger for a good 10 minutes. So it's getting the gingery smell. And we're talking like a few grams of ginger, like big, maybe 3 or 4 lumps that size. You just chop it, peel it, put it in, boil it. Then you put in the cinnamon. I always put the ginger in first because it takes longer to get the essence out. Then you put in the cinnamon and the cardamom for the last 3 or 4 minutes, so you're up to maybe 15 minutes in total. And then you strain and serve with a little bit of honey and a little bit of lemon. That is very, very powerful concoction. Honey's a lot of benefits. Lemon has benefits. You've got the cardamom, the cinnamon, the ginger. It's a great tonic and it will really pull you up out of many chronic health conditions. And the last one I'm going to mention today briefly is Rauvulfia, or Rauvulfia. Rauvulfia serpentine, otherwise known as snake root. You can get it in powder in many places. Here in India, we actually get big lumps of the root. We leave the root overnight in water, strain the water and drink, then refill it. So you take it twice a day, in the morning and the evening. I found it to be just as powerful as a fairly powerful diabetic medicine. You can take it down from 160 over 100 down to, 130 over 85. It's very good. It's as good as a medication. The only thing with the snake root, Rauvulfia serpentine, it is very powerful, as powerful as a medication. So, something like that I would kind of recommend. Like if you use, say, ginseng is a great yang herb as well. I wouldn't take ginseng all year round. I wouldn't take Rauvulfia serpentine all year round. They're a very strong yang herb. Ginger you can take all year round if you're yang deficient. Some people are yin deficient, where they got a red tongue and they're feeling hot all the time. They kind of paranoid, kind of stressed, kind of emotional. Taking a lot of yang herbs like ginger might be such a good idea. Rauvulfia serpentine is again basically a yang herb, and so it's active energy, which is great. But I'm just saying, sometimes it's good to cycle off of these things. So that's my advice today. Get your cinnamon, get your cardamom, get your ginger, get your garlic out. Garlic, you can take it as capsules. You can put a little bit in your meal. If you skin it first and leave it out for a few minutes, about 15 minutes, actually releases brain healing properties, which will prevent you getting dementia and then it's thrown into your meal. And that's better as well, because people tend to cook with garlic, which gives you a nice taste, but the essence is gone. So better put the garlic in, skin the garlic, leave it out 15 minutes. The allicin, the alliinase, which is an enzyme, will start getting the brain healing organosulfur compounds out, which will help your brain prevent dementia. And put it in towards the end of the cooking, so you're not cooking the hell out of it. Okay, and you still get the taste. And for the others, ginger, cardamom, cinnamon, you just stick them in water and boil them. Bit of honey, bit of lemon at the end, after you strain them. And then you may, I don't know where you're living, whether you can get Rauvulfia serpentine. Check below in the description, I'll give you the name of it, otherwise known as snake root. But for more severe conditions, I think it's really powerful. It is basically a hypertensive replacement. So if you take all those together, plus lifestyle changes, it can definitely be a game changer. I'm not saying it can cure you, it can cure some people, but it's definitely worth trying out. It will relieve a lot of symptoms, make you a lot healthier, and it's good to reduce your dependency on allopathic medications, or even stop them altogether. If possible, well, like I said in the last video, get yourself a blood checker machine, check your blood pressure, don't let it go over kind of 140 by 90, otherwise you're starting to get organic damage. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for dropping by and have a great day.